My parents left me a condemned warehouse while my brother got their $2.3 million lake house. My wife called me pathetic and threw me out. But when I broke into that warehouse, what I found made my blood run cold. Drop a comment with where you're watching from, and tell me, would you have fought back? Because what happened next changed everything I thought I knew about my family. My name is Brooks Anderson. I'm 42, and 6 months ago I worked at a credit union in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Everyone called me dependable, quiet, or if they were honest, pushover. I was the guy who stayed late, who lent money he never got back, who got passed over for promotions because I wouldn't play politics. My brother Marcus was different. For years younger but always more confident. The guy who walked into rooms and owned them. Growing up, Marcus got the bigger bedroom, the nicer car, our parents' attention. And I told myself I was fine with it. But let me take you back to the day everything fell apart. It was Tuesday afternoon when my phone rang. Mercy General Hospital. My stomach dropped before I answered. The nurse's voice was gentle. House fire. My parents didn't make it out. I don't remember driving there. Just the cold hospital floor where I collapsed, tears streaming down my face. Dad was 68. Mom was 65. They were supposed to have years left. Marcus arrived an hour later, composed in his expensive suit, but his hands trembled as he signed paperwork. We barely spoke. Just brief exchanges about arrangements. The funeral was 4 days later. Michigan rain fell throughout the service. I stood under a black umbrella next to my wife Diana, watching them lower my parents into the ground. Marcus gave the eulogy. Talked about family values. Mentioned he was executor of the estate. Diana squeezed my arm. After the service, Marcus approached. His cologne hit me first. Brooks, we need to talk about the estate. Lawyer's office Thursday at 10. I nodded, too numb to process. Diana whispered, make sure you get your fair share. Don't let him bully you. As we drove away, I glanced back. Marcus was on his phone, smiling. At our parents' funeral. That's when I knew something was wrong. Thursday came fast. The lawyer's office was downtown, dark wood and leather chairs. Diana came with me, her hand in mine, green eyes watchful. Marcus pulled up in a new Mercedes. My 10-year-old Honda sat in the lot like an apology. Mr. Henderson, the lawyer, looked uncomfortable as he opened the folder. Marcus Anderson receives the property at Lakeshore Drive, Traverse City, including the residence, boathouse, vehicles, and investment portfolio. I felt Diana's hand slip from mine. Brooks Anderson receives the commercial property at 1847 Industrial Drive, Detroit. Silence filled the room. I'm sorry, what? Diana's voice cut through. Henderson shifted. The Detroit property has been condemned by the city. Scheduled for demolition. I'm not sure what value remains. My mind reeled. The lake house was worth over $2 million. I was getting a condemned warehouse I didn't know existed. When did they write this will? I asked. 3 months before their passing. 3 months. My chest tightened. But Mom was in hospice. Dad had dementia. Marcus leaned forward. Dad was clear about his wishes. Let's not disrespect their memory. Diana stood abruptly. We need to talk. Outside. Now. In the parking lot, she turned on me. Her blonde hair bristled, eyes flashing. Are you seriously accepting this? Diana, it was their wish. Their wish? Your mother was dying and your father had dementia. Marcus was executor. Do you not see what happened? I don't want to believe. Brooks. Your brother has walked over you your entire life. He borrowed $50,000 we never got back. He sabotaged your promotion 3 years ago. And you just accept everything like a doormat. The words stung because they were true. Do you know what people call you at work? Nice guy Brooks. The guy who never gets anywhere. Is that who you want to be? Diana, they were my parents' wishes. Your parents didn't respect you. They left you garbage while Marcus gets millions. And you're just going to accept it. She turned toward her BMW. Where are you going? She looked back, and in her eyes I saw contempt. Pure contempt. I'm not going anywhere. You are. I can't live with a man who won't stand up for himself. Go to that worthless warehouse. Don't come home until you prove you're actually a man. Her car purred to life and she was gone. I sat in my Honda watching rain streak the windshield. My phone buzzed. Marcus, hey bro, if you want to sell that warehouse, I know a demolition company. Could get you $50,000 easy. $50,000 for a condemned building. Why was he so eager? That question led me somewhere I never expected. I drove 3 hours to Detroit. Booked a motel near the warehouse address. As I drove, memories hit in waves. Dad teaching me about cars. Mom's Sunday dinners. Marcus and me building a treehouse. The GPS led to an industrial wasteland. Abandoned warehouses, broken windows, chain link fences. This was my inheritance. But when I reached 1847, Industrial Drive, something didn't add up. The warehouse was massive. Yes, windows were broken and walls covered in graffiti. But the structure looked solid. And the padlock on the door was brand new. Why would a condemned building have a new padlock? I got out, gravel crunching under my boots. The sun was setting. No one around. Just me in this building. I tried the keys Henderson gave me. The new key opened the padlock. The old key opened the door. It groaned as I pushed it. The smell hit first. Damp wood, dust, but underneath, motor oil. Metal. The smell of work. I turned on my phone flashlight. The beam cut through darkness, illuminating shapes under tarps. My hands shook as I pulled back the first tarp. A 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback. Pristine. Perfect. The kind collectors pay 6 figures for. I pulled back another. A 1957 Corvette. Mint condition. Another. A 1970 Dodge Charger. 20 classic cars. Maybe more. Each restored to perfection. This wasn't condemned. This was a showroom. Why didn't the lawyer mention this? Why didn't Marcus? I walked deeper, flashlight bouncing off concrete. Then I saw it. A door. Solid oak, hand-carved. A brass plate, William Anderson, proprietor. My father's name. I reached for the handle and heard boots scraping concrete behind me. I spun around. A man in his 60s stood there, weathered face, holding a wrench. "Who the hell are you?" he demanded. Marcus said. "You know Marcus?" The man stopped. Lowered the wrench. "Who are you?" "Brooks Anderson. This is my property. My parents left it to me." His face went through confusion to recognition. "Holy shit. You're the son." He walked to a workbench, turned on a lamp. Light flooded the area. "Ray Murphy. Worked with your father 25 years. I shook his hand. "What is this place?" Ray looked around. "Anderson Auto Restoration. Your dad built this from nothing. We restore classics." "Then why?" "Marcus showed up 3 days after your dad died. Said the business was being dissolved. Said you weren't interested. He froze all accounts, said the warehouse was being sold." "I never said that. I didn't know this existed." Ray's expression darkened. "Yeah. I'm figuring that out. But you're still here. Because clients paid for these restorations. Good people. I couldn't abandon their cars." Pieces clicked together, forming an ugly picture. "Ray, did my father leave a will for the business?" Ray's eyes met mine. 8 months ago. Right here. I witnessed it. He left everything to you. Said you understood building things. Said Marcus would tear it down and sell it. Then how? Your dad and Marcus fought 3 months before he died. Bad. Marcus demanded the business. Your dad said no. Said Marcus destroys everything he touches. I walked to the carved door. "Does this open?" Ray selected a brass key from the pegboard. "Your dad gave me this 3 days before he died. Said get it to Brooks. Not Marcus. Brooks." My hand shook as I unlocked the door. Inside was my father's office. Organized desk. Old computer. Coffee mug reading World's Best Dad. On the wall, a photo of Dad and me at age 10, both covered in grease, grinning. I'd never seen that photo. My throat tightened. Ray flipped the light. On the desk was a calendar. Date circled in red from 3 months ago. The day Dad died. Next to it, bank statements. Anderson Auto Restoration LLC. Monthly deposits, 15 to 25,000. Last deposit 2 weeks ago. "Someone's still running this," I said. Ray nodded. "I do the work but can't access accounts." Marcus froze everything. I opened desk drawers. Files. Receipts. Client contracts. A real business my father ran for decades without telling me. The computer password was my birthday. It worked. The desktop was another photo of us. Email opened automatically. Dozens of messages from clients. All unanswered. Then I saw it. A folder, legal, urgent. Inside were scanned documents. A will dated 8 months ago. Business and building to me. Lake house and personal assets split equally between Marcus and me. But underneath was an amended will dated 3 months ago. Marcus got lake house and assets. I got the warehouse. No mention of the business. Someone changed it. A post-it in Dad's shaky handwriting. "Brooks, if you're reading this, something went wrong. Trust no one. Check the safe." Did Dad have a safe? Ray walked to the bookshelf, pulled 3 books in sequence. Click. The shelf swung forward, revealing a wall safe. He showed me this when he gave me the key. Ray pulled out worn paper. The combination. 38-42-15. My and Marcus's ages. My birthday. I spun the dial. The safe opened. Inside was a manila envelope. Dad's handwriting, Marcus, evidence. I pulled it out carefully. USB drive. Printed emails. Bank records. Photos. I started reading. With each page, my world tilted. Emails between Marcus and Mom in hospice. Her responses confused from morphine. His calculated, precise. Mom, the warehouse is a liability. Brooks doesn't want it. Let's simplify. I never said that. Dad, Brooks said he doesn't want the business. Let me handle things. More lies. Bank records showed Marcus added himself to business accounts 4 months ago. Withdrawals, $85,000 the week after the funeral. Photos on the USB, Marcus meeting with a demolition company. A contract for $200,000 insurance payout. He was going to destroy everything. But worst were the text messages. Dad's phone backup. Marcus to Dad, Brooks doesn't visit because he's ashamed of you. Dad, I don't understand. Brooks comes every Sunday. Marcus, those visits are pity, Dad. I felt Ray's hand steadying me. I was shaking with rage. Marcus isolated our dying parents. Poisoned their minds. Manipulated them when vulnerable. All to steal everything. There's more, Ray said quietly. You need to meet Pauline. Your dad's bookkeeper. She kept insurance files. Why? When your dad got confused, she got suspicious. She's been keeping duplicate records Marcus doesn't know about. Things that could send him to prison. I stood, gathering documents. My grief wrapped in something harder now. Steel forming in my spine. Take me to Pauline. Ray nodded. Tomorrow. But Brooks, if you do this, there's no turning back. You're going to destroy your brother. I looked at Dad's photo on the wall. Both of us smiling, building something together. He destroyed himself. I'm just making sure everyone knows it. What I didn't know was Marcus wasn't the only one who betrayed me. Pauline Walker lived in a quiet Detroit suburb. Ray and I arrived early morning. I'd barely slept, reading documents, anger growing with each page. Pauline answered before we knocked. Mid-60s, gray hair in a bun, sharp eyes behind glasses. You look like your father, she said. Come in. Her kitchen table was covered in files. Dozens. Organized, labeled. She poured coffee and sat. Your father was my friend. 25 years I did his books. When he got confused 6 months before he died, I knew something was wrong. When Marcus started showing up, I knew I needed records. Records of what? Of Marcus doing exactly what he did. She pushed a folder across. Bank records showing unauthorized account access. Audio recordings of conversations with your mother in hospice. Recordings? Her expression was sad but firm. Your father asked me to. He'd call when his mind was clear, tell me when Marcus was visiting. I'd record. She pulled out her phone and pressed play. Marcus's voice filled the kitchen. Smooth, persuasive. Mom, you're being selfish. Brooks has his job. I need this. My mother, weak, but William wanted Brooks to have. Dad doesn't know what he wants anymore. You have to decide for him. I'm so tired, Marcus. Just sign the papers. Let me handle everything. The recording ended. There are 12 more like that. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. Ray's hand on my shoulder grounded me. Show him the forgeries, Ray said. Pauline opened another file. Bank signature cards. Documents authorizing Marcus. The signatures were close but wrong. I knew Dad's signature. Handwriting expert analyzed them. Marcus forged your father's signature 14 times. That's felony. How much did he steal? From business accounts, $85,000. But that's not all. Another file. 3 months ago Marcus sold 2 restored cars. A 63 Corvette and 69 Camaro. Buyers paid $180,000 cash. Marcus kept it, never delivered cars. The room spun. There's more. Pauline's voice had an edge. Your wife Diana knew. Time stopped. What? She pulled out text message printouts. Marcus backed up his phone to your father's computer 2 months ago. Never deleted the backup. I recognized Diana's number immediately. Day after the will reading. Diana to Marcus, did you handle him? Marcus, he won't fight. He never does. Diana, make sure. I didn't marry him to be poor. Marcus, once we sell the warehouse and split profit, you can divorce him and take half. Which won't be much. Diana, he better not screw this up. The words blurred. They couldn't be real. More messages. Diana encouraging Marcus to change the will. Diana asking about selling timeline. Diana laughing about how I rolled over. 15 years. The woman I loved. When did she first contact him? Pauline checked notes. For months before your parents died. Right after your mother's cancer diagnosis. They planned this while Mom was dying. My phone showed 15 missed calls from Diana. I played the most recent voicemail. Brooks, stop ignoring me. We need to talk about our future. Come home. Sweet voice. The voice she used when wanting something. How had I never heard it? I scrolled through old texts with new eyes. Every complaint about money. Every comparison to Marcus. Manipulation. Grooming. Pauline watched me. You kept all this. Why? Your father asked me to. He called the day before he died. Mind clear that morning. He said wait, watch, gather evidence. He said Brooks is stronger than anyone knows. When the time comes, he'll do the right thing. Make sure he has what he needs. Her eyes were wet. He believed in you. Even when you didn't believe in yourself. I looked at files spread across the table. Bank records. Recordings. Forged signatures. Everything. What do you want to do? Ray asked. Part of me wanted to destroy them. But another part wanted to walk away. Then I thought about Dad. 30 years building something. And him in final months, memory slipping, knowing Marcus was circling, trying desperately to protect me. He left breadcrumbs. Evidence. Truth. Tools I needed. And believed I'd use them. I want to talk to a lawyer. Then call the police. Pauline smiled grimly. I know just the person. 3 days later I sat with David Kim, a lawyer specializing in elder fraud. He'd reviewed everything. Mr. Anderson, your brother committed multiple felonies. Elder fraud, forgery, embezzlement, theft. The evidence is overwhelming. 15 to 20 years prison. What about Diana? Her texts show knowledge and encouragement. Co-conspirator. 3 to 5 years. The numbers felt abstract. Marcus in prison 20 years. Diana in a cell. What do I do? File a will challenge in probate court. Then go to police. I know Detective Morrison. She's good. David leaned forward. But once we do this, there's no going back. Your brother gets arrested. Your wife too. Your family destroyed. Media might cover it. Your life gets complicated. It's already complicated. There's another option. Settle privately. Confront Marcus with evidence, force him to return what he stole, avoid criminal charges. Quieter. I sat thinking. Old Brooks would have jumped at that. But I kept seeing Marcus manipulating dying Mom. Dad confused and scared. Diana's cold eyes calling me weak. I don't want to settle. I want them to face what they did. David nodded. Then we go to war. Marcus will hire expensive lawyers. Paint you as vindictive. It'll be ugly. I don't care. Okay. First we set a trap. We need Marcus to incriminate himself. Are you willing to wear a wire? That's how 3 days later I stood in the warehouse office with a recording device taped to my chest, waiting. I'd texted Marcus, you were right about the warehouse. Too much to deal with. I'll sell for $50,000 cash. Let's get this over. His response was immediate, smart move. I'll be there at 2 p.m. with money. Ray was hidden with a video camera. Detective Morrison parked half a block away. David listened through a receiver. 1:58 p.m. My heart hammered. The door opened. Marcus walked in, expensive shoes clicking. Carrying a leather briefcase. Behind him, Diana. She wore a beige coat, hair perfect. Seeing me, her face lit with relief. Brooks. She moved to hug me. I stepped back. She looked hurt. I'm so glad Marcus told me. We've been worried. The lie came easily. What are you doing here, Diana? Supporting you. I know I was harsh, but I hated seeing you taken advantage of. You're doing the right thing now. Marcus opened his briefcase. Stacks of cash. 50,000. Count it if you want. Not trying to cheat you. Just helping you out. Helping. The word tasted like poison. Marcus, can I ask something? Sure. Why didn't Mom and Dad leave me anything in the first will? I saw it. A flicker in his eyes. The first will? Brooks, there was only one. Are you sure? The lawyer mentioned an earlier version. Diana's eyes darted. Brooks, what does it matter? Did they? I pulled out a folder, set it on the workbench. Because I found something when I went through the office. Marcus's confidence wavered. What office? I walked to the oak door, pushed it open. Dad's office. The one with his name on it. They followed. Seeing the organized space, files, computer, Marcus went pale. This was supposed to be empty. Empty? Why would it be empty, Marcus? Did you empty it? I just meant, I thought. You thought you'd cleaned everything out. Froze accounts, took money, told everyone the business was dissolved. But you didn't count on Ray. Or Pauline keeping records. Or Dad hiding evidence. Diana's face drained. Brooks, what are you talking about? I'm talking about you and Marcus planning this 4 months before Mom and Dad died. Text messages between you. Recordings of Marcus manipulating Mom. Forged signatures. 85,000 stolen. 2 cars he sold without delivering. Should I continue? Marcus stepped forward, face twisted. You can't prove any of that. Actually, I can. I lifted my shirt, showing the wire. And I just did. Everything you said is on record. Including admitting you expected this place empty. Diana grabbed her phone. Too late. The doors crashed open. Detective Morrison walked in, badge high, 2 officers behind. Marcus Anderson, you're under arrest for elder fraud, forgery, embezzlement, theft. Diana Anderson, accessory to fraud and conspiracy. Marcus's face went through shock, denial, rage, fear. You vindictive piece of shit. No, Marcus. I'm just not weak anymore. Diana was crying. Brooks, please. We can work this out. Think about our marriage. Our marriage? Where you conspired with my brother to rob my dying parents? That marriage? I held up my phone with her text screenshots. Detective, my wife has messages proving she was co-conspirator from the beginning. Morrison's expression hardened. Mrs. Anderson, that changes your charges. They handcuffed them both. Marcus was silent, jaw clenched, expensive suit looking like a costume. Diana still crying, pleading. As they passed, Marcus stopped. Looked at me. You were always the favorite. No matter what I did, it wasn't enough. This isn't about being favorite. This is about you stealing from dying parents. You did this. Not me. They led him away. Diana turned back. Brooks, please. I love you. I didn't respond. Nothing left to say. When they were gone, just me, Ray, and David, I felt exhausted. And sad. So much sadness. You did the right thing, Ray said. Why does it feel terrible? Because you loved them. And they betrayed that. That pain doesn't go away because you got justice. He was right. But underneath pain, something else grew. Strength. The trial took 6 months. Media coverage. Depositions. Forensic accountants. I hated every minute. But I showed up to every hearing. Testified when needed. The forensic accountant was meticulous. Traced every dollar. 85,000 from business. 180,000 from cars. 60,000 in personal items. Plus lakehouse value. Total, over 420,000. Marcus's lawyers tried the dementia defense. But we had medical records showing Dad's judgment was fine until his final month. Original will was 8 months before death. We had recordings. Forged signatures. Everything. Diana took a plea. 3 years for testifying against Marcus. She admitted encouraging him. Admitted knowing about fraud. Admitted planning to divorce me after Marcus sold the warehouse. Watching her testify, I felt nothing. Marcus insisted on trial. His lawyers painted me as jealous. Claimed evidence was fabricated. It didn't work. Jury deliberated 40 minutes. Guilty on all counts. The judge sentenced Marcus to 12 years federal prison. Full restitution. Forfeiture of all assets including lakehouse. Marcus was let out in handcuffs. Looked at me one last time. No anger. Just emptiness. I thought I'd feel victory. But I just felt tired. Diana was sentenced 2 weeks later. 3 years as promised. Lost her real estate license. Her reputation. Everything. She sent a letter. I almost threw it away. Brooks, I know you'll never forgive me. I wish I could say Marcus manipulated me, but that's another lie. I wanted the money. The life I thought I deserved. I was willing to do terrible things. You were good, and I destroyed us because I couldn't see that being good was enough. I'm sorry. I read it 3 times, then put it in a drawer. Legal proceedings cleared me for full control. Probate validated the original will. Marcus's assets liquidated for restitution. The lake house went to auction. I went to that auction Tuesday morning. The realtor listed it at $2 million. I sat in back with Ray and David, watching bidders compete. $2 million. 2.2. 2.4. At 2.5, everyone else dropped out except one woman. The auctioneer looked around. 2.5 million. Going once. 3 million, I said. Every head turned. 3 million from the back. Do I hear 3.1? The woman shook her head. Sold. Ray looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Brooks, why did you just spend an extra $500,000? I didn't answer until we were outside. Because it was never about money. Marcus wanted that house because it represented status. But Dad built a business with his hands. Created value. Helped people. That's what mattered to him. And to me now. What are you going to do with it? I smiled. First real smile in months. Turn it into something Dad would be proud of. 3 months later I stood on the lawn of the former lake house. A sign near the driveway, Anderson Restoration Academy, training the next generation. I'd partnered with a community college. Free training for underprivileged youth interested in auto restoration. Main house converted to classrooms. Boathouse became student lounge. Garage held 6 cars. Ray was head instructor. Pauline managed administration. 20 students in our first class from Detroit, Flint, Saginaw. Opening day, we held a ceremony. Students, local press, donors. I stood before the group. This building used to represent what my brother wanted but didn't earn. Today it represents something different. Opportunity. Legacy. The belief that if you work hard and learn a craft, you can build a life worth living. I gestured to Ray. This man worked with my father 25 years. He'll teach you. Not just technical stuff. He'll teach you what it means to build something with your hands. Take something broken and make it whole. A young woman raised her hand. 19, cautious eyes. Mr. Anderson, why are you doing this? You could have sold this place. Fair question. My father left me more than a business. He left me a lesson. Strength isn't about money or power. Strength is about building something that lasts. Something that helps people. I spent most of my life thinking I was weak because I didn't fight like my brother. But I was wrong. My brother fought for what he wanted and destroyed everything. I'm fighting for what matters. That makes the difference. They applauded. Not because my speech was eloquent, but because they understood. After the ceremony, I walked to the dock and sat, feet dangling over water. Sun setting, painting the sky orange and pink. I thought about Dad. My phone buzzed. Ray, your old man would be proud. You did good. Reading those words, sitting on that dock, I felt tears sting my eyes. I'd started this journey heartbroken, driving to a condemned warehouse because my wife threw me out and my brother stole everything. Expected to find nothing. Instead, I found myself. The business thrived. Anderson Auto Restoration expanded to 3 locations over 2 years. 2-year waiting list. Revenue hit $5.8 million year 2. 50 employees, all academy trained. But money wasn't what mattered. What mattered was the work. Getting hands dirty. Learning from Ray. Restoring my first car and feeling accomplishment when the engine purred. What mattered was students graduating, getting jobs, starting lives. Several came to work for me. One started her own shop in Flint. What mattered was knowing I'd built something Dad would be proud of. I got a letter from Marcus a year into his sentence. Almost didn't open it. The handwriting was shakier. Brooks, I don't expect forgiveness. I've had time to think. About Dad. Mom. What I did. I destroyed everything because I thought I deserved more. I was always jealous. Dad liked you better. He saw something in you he never saw in me. Something good. Worth protecting. That's why he left you the business. He knew I'd destroy it. And he was right. I destroyed everything. The business. Our family. Your marriage. I don't recognize who I was. Or maybe I do, and that's worse. Maybe that was always me. Dad knew. He saw me clearly. Tried to protect you from me. I hope someday you can forgive me. But I understand if you can't. You were never weak. I was too stupid and greedy to see your strength. I read that letter 5 times in Dad's office. Part of me wanted to write back. Offer forgiveness. But I wasn't there yet. Maybe never would be. I put the letter in a drawer next to Diana's. Marcus has 11 years left. Diana got out in 2. And me? I'm building a life that finally feels mine. I started dating Sarah from the community college. Nothing like Diana. Quieter. Kinder. She didn't care about money or status. Cared about people. Making a difference. We took it slow. She'd been through betrayals too. We bonded over caution, understanding trust must be earned. One evening, 18 months after trial, Sarah and I had dinner overlooking water. She asked the question I'd been avoiding. Do you think you'll ever forgive them? I thought about letters. About pain they caused. I don't know. Maybe someday. Not because they deserve it. Because I deserve to stop carrying this weight. She took my hand. You're a good man, Brooks Anderson. I'm trying to be. My phone rang. Ray. You need to come to Detroit warehouse. Now. 20 minutes later I stood there staring at what Ray found. Behind a false wall in storage, another safe. Smaller. Inside was a letter in Dad's handwriting, dated the day before he died. My hand shook. Brooks, if you're reading this, you found the truth about Marcus. I'm proud of you. I always knew you were strong enough. The business is yours. Not because I loved Marcus less, but because I knew you'd protect it. You'll build something that lasts. That helps people. That's who you are. You're not weak, son. You never were. You're the strongest person I know. Love, Dad. I read those words 3 times, pressed the letter to my chest, and finally cried. Not from sadness. From relief. Dad had known. Had seen me clearly. Believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. 2 years after trial, I stood in the Detroit warehouse, fully restored, gleaming. 25 employees. Sound of engines, tools, laughter. Ray was retiring but staying as consultant. Academy graduated 3rd class. Net worth hit $4.2 million, but not from inheritance. From building something real. I walked into Dad's office and looked at the photo. Dad and me working on a car, both smiling. Next to it hung a new photo, me and Ray with a restored '67 Mustang, first car I'd completed entirely alone. Legacy continued. Diana got out last month. Sent another letter asking to talk. Haven't responded yet. Maybe someday. Maybe not. Marcus has 9 years left. Haven't visited. Haven't written back. I'm not angry anymore, anger takes too much energy. I'm just done. Here's what I finally learned, my parents didn't leave me a condemned warehouse. They left me a choice. Marcus chose to destroy. I chose to build. That choice defined everything. People still call me Nice Guy Brooks sometimes. But now I know that's not weakness. Being kind isn't being weak. Standing up for what's right, that's real strength. I'm 44 now. Work with my hands. Teach students who remind me of myself, uncertain, underestimated, hungry to prove themselves. Built a life that matters. Every morning when I walk into that warehouse, smell motor oil, hear engines coming to life, I think about Dad. About the gift he really gave me. Not money. Not property. But the chance to discover who I really was underneath all those years of doubt. I found out I wasn't weak after all. I was just waiting for the right moment to be strong. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about ordinary people finding extraordinary strength. Drop a comment, have you ever been underestimated? What did you do? Thanks for watching.